Hey everybody, welcome back for another video. This is Betsy Veldman for Papertrey Inc. And in this video I'm going to show you how to stamp the multi-step borders from the Seasonal Borders Winter set. So if you've been following along at all with the Seasonal Borders series, you'll know that this is the fourth and final set in the series. We've gone through all of the seasons and we're now up to winter. And this is probably my favorite set of the series so far. I just love how this border turned out. They're so fun to stamp. So just like all of the other Seasonal Borders sets, it allows you to stamp this multi-step border, or you can stamp a single cluster, or there's also the individual elements that you can stamp alone and use as embellishments that will go for a really pretty coordinated look on your cards and projects. So you can see here I have several borders already stamped. I really had a good time playing around with all kinds of different color combinations and just really exploring color, and you can get so many different looks. Just look at these. I've got some really bright and fun colorful ones, and then there's some that are more subdued and elegant. I played around with embossing the snowflakes with gold powder and just really had a good time playing around with the different color combinations. This might be one of my favorites. It's just kind of different and fun. I stamped the greenery actually in shades of gray instead of your traditional greens, and then added some green bows and aqua snowflakes, so it's just kind of a really elegant look. So you can, as you can see, you can get so many different looks. You can even play around with stamping some of the elements in different colors across your border. Here I did the ribbons in different colors. I didn't do them all the same. I also changed up the color of the snowflakes, so that's something else you can play around with. Alright, so what I want to show you is how easy it is to stamp these borders with a stamping platform. So I already have everything all set up here. I have a die cut border nested inside of a negative die cut border that's going to act as my guide. You can do the same sort of thing directly onto a card front if you'd like as well. There is a stencil included in the stamp set which can be used as a guide for stamping borders directly onto your projects. But for today's video we're going to be using a die cut in a stamping platform nested in a negative die cut. Okay, so all of my individual elements from this set I have already set up in my stamping platform because I've been playing around with this set all morning. So what I have left on my stamp sheet here are all of the individual pieces that you'll need to stamp the borders and the clusters. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to do this using a stamping platform. And there's definitely an order in which things will be a little bit easier to do. So the first step you'll want to do is this image right here. It's a lot of the greenery and some detailing for the holly leaves. There's just a lot here. There's a lot of points that you can line up. So I would go ahead and start with that. So go ahead and position that on your die cut border just like this, lining up all of those little points with the die cut border. Then go ahead and close your lid. Go ahead and stamp the first image on the border. I'm using Tropical Teal ink. And then take your die cut border and move it down one position. You'll see the entire pattern repeats 3 times across the border. You can also do a cluster while you have that stamp already on your platform. I can just go ahead and drop one of the cluster die cuts in there, and it's the same position, so I can just go ahead and stamp that as well, and so I can get those all done at the same time. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that border strip back in there, and we're going to move on to the next step. The next step is going to be this more solid holly cluster. Go ahead and position that on your die cut using the first stamped image as your guide. Once again, close your lid and you're ready to start stamping that next step. The next step we're going to do is the solid bow. Once again, use the images that are already stamped as your guide for positioning it. Go ahead and close your lid and just start stamping. The next step is the bow detail and the berries. That one's nice and easy to line up using your bow and the openings for the berries as a guide. Next, we're going to stamp the berry details and the stems. And finally, the last step is the double snowflake. That gets positioned right here in those openings between the greenery. And there you go, they're all finished. We created one border and one cluster. Now when I do this, I like to set up my stamping platform and I like to stamp a whole bunch of borders at one time. I did all of these borders. I did the first step of all of them at the same time, each border, and then I switched to the second step and did the second step for all of the borders. So it really actually goes pretty quickly if you're wanting to just play around with stamping. I like to do this sometimes if I'm not really in the mood to make a project but I want to do some stamping. This is a really fun set that allows you to do that. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying all of the September release projects and products. We have been having so much fun bringing them to you and I can't wait for you to play around with them yourself. Thanks for watching.